I want you to tell me for some of the sections, let's say like the compare and contrast passages, like one of the passages that compare two passages and then like find similarities and like differences in those passages. My confusion is that for that one passage, if I try reading speed reading, that technique does not work for me. But for the rest of the passages, technique works. What do you think I should do for that? And do you think that I know that I basically just go through it in like less than 2 minutes? Do you also believe that, and how much, I want to know that, like how much retention, like in terms of information, and what should be at the back of my mind by the time I'm done reading, and how should I approach the passage basically. And reading comp is basically my weakest section. I'm taking the January 13 exam, and I also would like to know that how do you think my study plan should be like? Should I do like 4 reading comp? And I know that my approach with reading comp, like if I get any question wrong, it's very different as opposed to blind review method. I barely do any blind review method for reading comp because I don't know. I mean, yes, I do kind of find out, I do go over the answers and I do find out that yeah, I got it wrong, but I don't know how I'm gonna, for the next future passages, I don't know how it's gonna help me. So I barely do any blind review for a reading comp as opposed to LR and logic games, of course. So do you think am I lacking anywhere? What do you think? I really, really want to pull out my score by January 13th for reading comp.
Okay, a lot of questions here. Let's slow down and hit them one by one. So you mentioned that the comparative reading technique, you need something a little bit different for that portion of the reading comp section. Definitely. If you do, totally fine. Take a different approach. It's worth experimenting, and you have enough time between now and the January LSAT to play around with different techniques and see what works for you. For the comparative passages, they are a little bit different in nature. And so I would suggest simply walking away with what is the main theme or idea of each of the two. What are their different areas of focus?
I'm just taking notes, okay? Just don't.
Yeah, sure. So just a couple of words about each of the two passages. And that's actually what I recommend for the other passages as well. Walk away with simply the main idea and maybe have a word or a phrase summarizing the author's opinion, which is, of course, the main idea.
Okay.
You asked about your study plan from now until January, which is at the moment, it's about 6 weeks away, right? 5-6 weeks. So a lot should be, of course, full length 5-section timed exams. I want you doing at least 1 per week, maybe 2, along with a detailed review of those exams.
Okay.
And then if you have certain weak areas, you could drill those either doing individual sections or doing certain questions by type.
Okay.
Now, for reading comprehension, you said that you were talking about review, and whether you do blind review or not, it's okay. What's really important, I think, is finding the support in the passage for whatever you're choosing. And during your review, what is the support? What are the line references supporting a given answer choice?
What is your advice on not finishing up the last few questions on logic games?
Well, what score are you shooting for?
165. And I want a perfect score for a logic game. And if I do untimed, I get 23 out of 23. All correct. It's just with time, honestly. It's just with time, and I really hate it. But I don't know. I see that a lot of people get accommodations. I do have a little bit of test anxiety, but I don't really know if I'm gonna qualify for that. But I think time is the biggest barrier for me. Really the biggest for that score. It brings me definitely. And also reading comp on tablet, I took the July exam on tablet. It's very different. I try to speed read. There's a lot of scrolling. You have to go up and down, and then you have to look at the questions, and then you have to find the answer in the passage. So it's just a lot of up and down, honestly. You can't really keep on a hard copy, where that you found that information. But on the tablet, it's just like a lot of scrolling, and you don't know. Yeah, I saw that somewhere, but I don't know where though. So that do take a lot of time. I can tell you that that takes a lot of time on just kind of scrolling up and down. I really hate that. Although it's really good for like reading other sections logic game, I would say okay, and LR, but reading com it's not the good one for it on a
All
tablet.
right, so let's hit that and then go back to the games question. So for reading comprehension, how much practice have you done on a tablet?
Like 10 to 15 days.
Good. All right, well, keep that up. I mean, I know it can be frustrating. I know it's difficult to have to scroll up and down, but it is what it is. You just have to make the best of it. And so get more practice under your belt so that it's not that big a deal. I wish I had a simpler solution for you than that, but
Yeah.
the digital LSAT is what it is. We have to make the best of it.
And do you think that the same score is possible on a digital tab as opposed to on the paper pencil for reading comp?
It is. And there are certain benefits to the digital format, like removing any ambiguity or mistakes about timing because the countdown clock is fixed. And also the ability to flag questions and come back to them later is also a nice thing.
Yeah. I didn't use that last time.
Good. Yeah. So just practice more with that. And as for the question of games, if you want 165 plus and you want perfect on games, then of course you do have to attempt every single question on games. Games really is more perfectible than the other sections. And as you saw, when you remove the timing, you can get there. And so two options are to either apply for accommodations as soon as possible if you think you might qualify for them, because the extra
Yeah.
time could make a difference for you. Otherwise, and really either way, drilling games. Drill all the games. You could theoretically do every logic game ever released. And that way you would not have anything new under the sun on test day.
Got it. Yeah. I think that's a really great advice you gave me, because once I do every single game in and out, basically there's nothing else for me to learn. I would have learned almost everything that's out there for logic games. That's such a great advice. I didn't think of that. Yeah. And I can put like schedule my study plan according to that for until January 13th. Okay. That's really good. That's really helpful, honestly.
Of course. Sure. Are there any other questions you have for me in order to feel complete for today?
One last question for LR. Before doing timed sections, what do you think? Do you think like how much? I don't know how to put this question, but I heard a lot of people say that you need to do a lot of untimed question, a lot of practice question, and once you get a hang of them, if you didn't do them with time, it's not gonna be a big problem. Um, but I tried that. I'm doing that, but I feel like until January 13, I still don't have enough time to like do one time and then do time like in 1 month. And also, I want to put in my application for the cycle and like for Columbia and NYU. I just hope that I'm not too late in the cycle, because I do have a 4.1 GPA and I want to get a perfect score. I mean, of course, of 165 and above on the LSAT, because I do qualify. I'm a URM student, so I do hope that there's some sort of leverage on my end from those schools. But yeah, these are the few things that I discussed with you that are kind of becoming an obstacle in my score to a 165 and above.
Well, the good news is that January isn't too late. So I'll leave you with that ultimately, that you could take the January LSAT, apply immediately afterwards, and that would still be okay for this cycle.
Yeah. I'm gonna send in my applications by the end of in the middle of December once I'm done with my finals, and then I'll like tell the schools that like hold on to my application once I get my score back from the LSAT. That's about it. But I do want to send in my application like by the end of December or so. But a lot of people do tell me that you're really late for the tier 14 law schools. So that's kind of makes me nervous sometimes, but I'm like, all right, I'll try it this cycle. Nothing works out. The max, if I have to take a year off, I'll take it, honestly. Although I don't want to take a year off. That's why I'm studying so hard, even like during my finals and like my semester is going on. But let's see how things work out. I'm gonna, give in my best.
Awesome, Will. Just give it your all over the next month and a half, and at least you'll know that you've gotten your fullest potential on this.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm definitely going to try your approach and the techniques you told me. I think really, I think the logic games one's really going to help. And of course, I'm the reading comp. I'm going to try that and I'll get back to you with that. I'm in like 15 or 20 days. Yeah. Once I get used to it, I'll do that. Definitely. Thank you so much for all your time. Sorry, I mean, we had a confusion, but thank you so much for all the time. Is there any way you like provide some sort of tutoring? Like,
I do, yeah, and I can send you more information on that afterwards.
okay, that really works.
Of course, sure. What would you say is the biggest insight you got from our call today?
I think you really showed me, gave me a clear direction. The things I was having trouble with, I was confused. You really turned that confusion into like some sort of concise direction that, or a path that I gotta follow. And you know, you gave me different alternatives to think that were not on my mind, and now I have these, and I'm definitely going to try them. So you basically showed me the way. I was confused, I was lost, and you showed me the way. That's what else can I take from that? So that was really, really, really helpful. Applying these techniques and approaches for the next 6 weeks. I don't know what else. That was really helpful. Really, really helpful. I was lost, and you showed me the way. Put
Great.
it
All
back.
right. Well, I'm glad I was able to help, and I'll be in touch with more information.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure here. Take care. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.